What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Fiction TV. So, Kill Bill Volume 2. I have Uma Thurman's character, the assassin. She is back on her killing spree. Only this time we learned some things. We learned that Bill is actually her lover. So one thing about Volume 2, I can say, watching Volume 2, I was like, okay, Volume 2 is a little bit more cheesier than Volume 1. It definitely has its cheesy moments, in my opinion, especially Volume 2. I was like, yeah, some of these parts are just cheesy, and it kind of feels like now it's starting to do a little bit too much. But one of the scenes that really got me was when she was buried alive, and I was like, oh my god, imagine being buried alive. That's terrible. But that scene, she still killed it. I mean, even though there were cheesy moments, it's not to say that the movie was bad, because it was not. And the part where she escaped and did that whole like martial arts move, or is it Taekwondo? I'm not sure what move it was, or Jeet Kune Do. But when she did that move and she got out of the dirt, that whole scene from her doing it and getting out and walking to that coffee shop, that diner place, just covered in dirt, it was good. I also love how we got to see her training process when she was fighting in her assassin whole journey. But I did enjoy that. And another thing, the death scene with the guy who got bit, it just wasn't really that good. I did also enjoy the eye patch girl and Uma Thurman's character when they fought against each other. I love that we got to see a woman and another, just like the first one, where two women were fighting. I love that they really showed that the eye patch girl actually really admired Uma Thurman. Was kind of disappointed when she thought that she was killed by that guy who was bit by the snake. I also thought it was really funny how she kept screaming, "You fucking bitch!" Da, 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 while like Uma Thurman ripped her eye out. She did like her signature thing when she like ripped her eye out. And I'm just like, girl, now you don't have no eyes. Just stop cursing and going crazy and just get it together, because you're blind for the rest of your life now, and that's just what it is. But all in all, the last scene, the final scene, when her and Bill had that face off, you could really see how Patrice was really ride or die, and women have that ride or die attitude for men, and they talked about it in that scene, how they're willing to do anything. And she also talked about how it changed when she had her child, and like she was willing to do anything, sacrifice for her children. And it just showed the really strong womanhood and the motherhood that women have. Or at least that's what I got from that part. And before you guys go, if you are interested in reading my book, Rain, it is in the link in the description box below. It is a sci-fi psychological thriller about a group of young adults in a psych ward who think they're going to be there for the rest of their lives, pretty much. They've accepted it. They've ran off all of their counselors and everybody who's tried to help them. And then they get this new young counselor who's like, yo, I don't think y'all are crazy. I think something else is going on, more to the story, because there are things that are happening to me. I'm starting to see ghosts, and I think these kids might have some sort of abilities, and I think I'm losing my mind as well. So we kind of go into this transition of all the kids, the main characters' minds. We get in-depth descriptions about each character, and we go on this journey of trying to figure out what's going on. If you guys want to stick around, I'm going to finish some reading, so let's go. Last we stopped, the kids were kind of interrogating John Smith, and it's you know, they're interrogating him, so it's probably about to get real, honestly. I mean, of course, I know what's gonna happen because I wrote it, but like, I'm acting like I don't. Lost in his gaze, I suddenly feel his hand stroking my face the way my mother used to, and we're laughing and hugging one another, jumping up in the air like children. So that was just random flashback of Joseph. It sounds like he's having some sort of flashback about his mom. He has a lot of flashbacks about his mom. We're going to find out why, though, later on in the story. Sir, are you carrying any weapons? Teo's voice interrupts our connection. Remember that Teo is actually interrogating John Smith along with the other kids who are telling him that they don't like him. Teo's breathing heavily like a fat kid, scans the room. Did anyone follow you, sir? The newbie turns to his notepad, mumbling Teo's information to himself before speaking. Teo screams at the newbie, whose face is like a ripe tomato. Sir, I'm going to ask you once more. Are you or are you not carrying weapons of mass destruction on you right now? Neo and I glance at one another momentarily. Ko pouts. I'm going to ask you to stand. Teo's veins pop out of his skull as he screams loudly at Newbie. He's trying to instill fear into him. But Newbie doesn't flake. Impressive. In fact, the new guy just sits calmly and looks at Teo, mumbling, no. Teo, who thinks he's in the Afghanistan war, grabs the side of his pants leg as if he's about to pull out a gun, aiming his clamped fingers in the form of a pistol at Newbie's temple. The newbie plays along and puts his hands up. You're not in battle. This isn't the war, Teo. I'm not your enemy, says Newbie. Teo. The newbie holds his hands up. Relax. Just breathe, Teo. Take a deep breath. Teo stands still, shaking, holding his imaginary pistol. I'm here to help you. Just breathe with me. In and out. Teo scans the room, looking past everyone, waving his gun around, aiming it at whatever he sees. It's me. I'm not here to hurt you. It's okay. Please, just put the gun down, he pleads. So, he looks at me. Why is he looking at me? So we can talk. Teo slowly lowers his weapon. Easy. Easy. Inhale. Try with me. Exhale. Teo stands calmly breathing with Newbie. He's done this before. Teo shuts his eyes to relax. Teo is still, but darkness disagrees with him. It pours sorrow into his life. He loses it. He screams, aiming the trigger of his gun at Newbie, who, it seems, is triggered, and screams, Stop! Kale begins sobbing like a whiny pup. Tracy is rocking her chair, agitated, but Neo just stands slowly and ready. Teo takes a step back with his arms out, commanding to drop down on the ground or he will have no choice but to retaliate. The newbie doesn't flinch, he just slowly lowers to the floor. Teo grabs him by the neck and whispers in his ear that if he tries anything, he's dead man. Teo calls me over to help search Newbie's pockets. We empty out his jeans. There's change, a wallet, a picture of a woman, and a broken wristwatch. Teo hands me his weapon. He grips the newbie by his neck, applying pressure. He causes his face to turn from purple to pale, to ghost white. The newbie squirms like a little worm, opening up his mouth to breathe in oxygen, but doesn't quite get a taste of it. Teo squeezes until Newbie's eyes are popping out of his skull like a cartoon character. He tries clutching at the air for a taste of life. I can see his pupils beginning to roll over to the white meat. His body goes into survivor mode. He tries to elbow Teo but misses, causing Teo to squeeze tighter, bashing his head to the floor repeatedly. This is it. He's going to kill him. I can see the light leaving the new guy as he gasps for breath one last time. Teo's gone. His pupils are dilated, his face is expressionless, his soul empty. The new guy, it seems, never had a chance. I turn my head, hearing a soft-spoken little girl's voice. Daddy? Daddy? It's Neo holding the tape recorder. Daddy, please stop. Teo, caught off guard by the illusion of his daughter's voice, drops the new guy, stares at Neo, and says, Angelica? A loud bell goes off. Teo, the newbie managed to say. Immediately, guards step in, rushing to grab Teo. The newbie, who's gasping for air, stretches his arm out for them to stop. Suddenly, he stands perspiring in terror, rubbing his neck and coughing repeatedly. It's all right. I'm fine. No need to be hasty. He tries to catch his breath like he just ran a marathon. Tracy takes the initiative to play her part. She runs over to the newbie, bending seductively in front of him, showing cleavage. One of the guards, Hank, eyes her. She helps the new guy from the floor, who's still gasping for more oxygen. Very satisfying. Well, almost. He thanks Tracy before taking a seat as if nothing has happened. He straightens out his clothing and turns to the guards who have Teo locked in metal shocker cuffs, a choker bar which extends long enough for the guard to hold, yanking Teo like the ape they treat him as. It's just a misunderstanding, is all. Please, he turns to the guards. I'm fine, he smiles. He adjusts his glasses and wipes his forehead. The guards ignore him and walk towards the exit with Teo. Wait, I don't think you understand. He's now facing the guards. I said I'm fine. We were just playing around. He was showing me it. Out of my way. Hank pushes past the newbie with elect and they walk out of the room. The new guy sits down with his legs crossed and hands folded. He sits in silence, as still as a statue. His eyes are full of sorrow after what seems like forever. He speaks. Okay, so now that Teo has almost stripped me of my life, my dignity, and my pockets, we can move on. He smiles. Unbelievable. He scribbles down on his little notepad, continues talking, not even the bit concerned. I'm impressed. Okay, so how about we play a game? He clears his throat. I've created a curriculum that Tracy, who hasn't taken her seat, plops out on the newbie's lap, caressing his cheek. Which game do you want to play? Kill? Beep. Kill, F, or marry? She smiles. He chuckles. I can see it written in his eyes. He's about to crack. His face beats with moisture. I can hear his heart thumping loudly, beating out of his chest like a speeding train ready to crash into a wall and explode. Yet he maintains his stupid composure. You know, I was thinking of a more kid-friendly game, Tracy. He grabs her arm, stands up to relieve her from his lap. So, John Smith basically just got interrogated, and he just got attacked by Teo, the army guy who thinks that he's in Afghanistan war. He was getting choked out. He was pretty much about to die. And then finally guards came in and stopped that whole thing, took Teo out, and now the kids are actually still trying to, using their different tactics to actually get rid of John Smith. They couldn't get rid of John Smith with Teo. Now they're trying to get rid of John Smith with Tracy. Yeah, let's continue. Kay, who I assume wants attention from this guy, yells, I'm a girl too. I can play that game, Mr. John. It's pathetic to see Kay like this, batting her eyelashes like a cheap call girl and searching for attention from men to feel worthy. However, the newbie seems unbothered by it. He merely smiles. Tracy laughs. You wish. Kay screams, I am a girl. Do you have these? Tracy lifts up her shirt to show newbie her perky breast. Kay cries. Neil, who's been standing the entire time, speaks up. What was that, Neil? You said something? Asks the newbie. A sinister smile conceals her face. Ready to quit yet? Neil laughs. The newbie tries to conceal his fear by laughing, but it doesn't work. All right. He sits back down. So, the game goes, whoever has a... So as you can see, the characters are very provocative, especially Tracy. Like, it's getting to the end of Joseph's whole thing. And we're going to talk about it. He stops and looks at me in front of him with my hands placed on the door. So John Smith is just basically like, Tracy, get off of me. Okay, let's play this game. Let's forget everything that happened. John is trying to move on and pretend like nothing happened. And now, here's a flashback. Because we're still in Joseph's mind. From Joseph's perspective. He stops and looks at me kneeling in front of him with my hands placed on the floor. I'm weeping like a defenseless child ready to be beaten. I don't know how I ended up in front of him. But I see it in his eyes. I've been a very bad boy. I deserve to be punished for my disrespectful disobedience. I don't deserve to be in his presence. I don't deserve to live. Stammering over my words, I stare at the floor. I'm sorry. It was rude of me. I prejudged you. I did, but I look back. They told me to. They told me you were bad. But sometimes they're bad too. I beg him, hoping he doesn't strike me. He reaches out to strike, so I lift my hands to protect my face. This part is written in italicized. Joseph's actually having a flashback of the time he was being beaten by his father, or at least he thinks he's about to be beaten by his father, and it kind of ends there. So if you like this, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Down below, let me know your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Peace.